So whatever you like, sit on is great. And we're just going to take a few moments to find our breath. It might be the first time today that you're examining that aliveness and space within. Sipping in slowly through the nose. And exhaling through the nose. And bringing the eyes back if they're closed, we're going to just tuck the tongue behind the teeth and open your mouth a little bit and then breathe in through the mouth. And then close your mouth, exhale through your nose. And try that a few times. Tuck your tongue, open mouth. Close the mouth and exhale nose. And what you'll notice is cool breath moving in. Holding that and then exhaling heat out. And continue. And feel free to pause and let that cool air move into the lungs. Moving at your own pace a few more rounds. And maybe just 3 more. And we'll reach our arms. And take the arms out wide. And just lift your chin. Give yourself a little bit of a back bend. And then exhale, hugging the shoulders and rounding. And inhale, open up. Again, the back bend. And exhale, hug your shoulders, rounding. Again, one more time. Inhale, open. And exhale, rounding. And as we return to center, we'll reach the hands up. And bring the elbows down. And again, reaching. And the elbows down. And reaching. Bringing the elbows down. Resting our left palm and sweeping the right hand across the front of the body. And then open that up and lift your gaze. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale across the front of the body. And opening. And once more across the front. And opening. And this time we're just going to bring the hand down and extend it so it's in line with your ear. And we'll tip ourselves over even more to that left side, little micro bend in the elbow. Notice a stretch along the right side body. And you might turn your skull towards the earth, expressing fullness in your left lung and right lung. And then focusing for 2 more breaths solely on the right lung. And our return is hand just releases down, and we'll come back to center. Inhale up and elbows down. Inhale, reaching and elbows down. And just once more, reaching. Exhaling elbows, resting your right palm. And as you rest that, we'll sweep our left hand across the front of the body. And opening wide, lifting gaze. Again, sweeping across the front, softening the left shoulder away from the ear. And opening wide. Once more. And then releasing the hand down. And again, we're just going to reach forward until it's in line with the ear and give yourself a little bit more side bend. Breathing deeply. Maybe the gaze is towards the earth. And focus on that inhale and exhale solely through the nose. Reaching inward towards the lungs. And lots of attention to the left lung. And then just releasing the left hand down, and we'll come back to center. And once you're here, we're just going to move through those back bend and forward folds again. You can rest your hands on the knees or across the arms, on the shoulders again. Lifting palms if you like, reaching hands. And then interlacing the fingers and placing them behind your skull and lifting your chin there. We're going to tuck the chin, squeeze the elbows, and round towards the knees. And then inhale, push your head into the hands, rising up and open. And we'll do that just 2 more times. Moving with your breath. Wonderful. And the next time you come back, keeping interlaced fingers, reach them up to the sky. And exhale, keeping those fingers interlaced, palms down towards the navel. Inhale back up. Keeping the face of the palm facing the earth behind your skull now. And then inhale up. And exhale down. It's a wonderful practice for strengthening the heart muscle. Inhale up. Stretching your lungs. Exhale down. And exhale. Good. We're just moving from the front up. Exhale behind your skull. Inhale up. Exhale in front of the body. Take 1 more round. Beautiful. Reaching and lowering hands. All right. From here, whatever you're sitting on, can just move it off to the side. And we're going to move to our Chakravakasana, our cat-cow. And we're going to start with our right palm facing the knee and just moving very gently there. Notice the stretch from the forearm, the shoulders, the spine. And right palm returns. We'll take our left hand, fingers facing the left knee. Working on that rounding of the spine and then sinking of the ribcage. And the next time that you return to neutral spine, we're going to take those fingers and just let them face inward. And we're going to do a few lowering towards the earth. Again, working with the heart muscle in the lungs. And you're just hovering above the earth. And then rising up. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. And inhale, rise. From here, palms back to their normal position. And just working on moving the spine some. And as you're moving through your cat-cow, you could start to gaze off to one side and then bring it cat-like back to center. Gazing to the other side, cat-like back to center. Moving in a figure 8 movement. And sinking in the shoulders and lifting out of the shoulders now. And we'll just take this back to child's pose. Please make sure that your knees are all the way together. And you might walk the hands forward or you might use your forearms to support. Take a few exhalations here, fully releasing the lower belly, the abdomen sinking towards the upper quad. And you might exhale through your mouth. Just allowing the curvature of the spine. And carefully lifting your gaze, pushing into the palms, we'll rise back up. And from here, we're just going to reach the right leg back. And as you reach the right leg back, we're going to work on lifting and lowering. Make sure your toes are facing towards the earth and moving at your own pace. Wonderful. Next time you lift, let's see if we can bring the right knee towards the right elbow. And then back again. And try that 2 or 3 more times. Again, moving at your own pace. And then just releasing the right knee down, and we'll reach our left leg back. And we're just going to do the lift and lower. Again, toes are pointing towards the earth. Flexing the shin. Lifting from the lower belly. Keeping the palms pressing firmly into the earth. Lightly gazing forward. And bending your knee. Let's move that knee to the left elbow. Looking for 3 of those and then extending. Knee to elbow. And when you're ready, you're resting the left knee back. And we're just going to move forward and back. And that can be any degree. Tabletop to child's pose, or maybe even moving further forward. And let's all move together. The next time that you move forward, lower all the way to your belly. Walk your elbows forward. And once you press your forearms, push into the palms and lift your elbows for a moment. Exhale, elbows back to the earth. Hands back to the sides of the rib cage. Lift up and take child's pose. And we'll do that a few more. Inhale, moving forward. Exhale, lower. Walk the elbows forward. Inhale, press and lift your elbows. Exhale, lower. Hands to the sides of the rib cage. Up and back as you exhale. Try one more time. Inhale, forward. Exhale, lower. Elbows forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Hands to the sides. Inhale, lift. And exhale, back. And we'll pause in our child's pose for 3 more breaths. And from here, carefully taking your hands over towards the right side, emphasizing the reach of the left arm. You might even use just the fingertips on the left hand and lightly gaze to the left side. And carefully returning to center, reaching over towards the left side. Again, using maybe just the fingers of the right hand, gazing towards the right. And then returning to center. And as you return to center, let's use the fingertips again. And we're just going to move the skull forward and back a few times. And then carefully walking your palms back in. We're going to rise all the way to the tops of the knees. Inhale, reaching up overhead. Exhale, bring your elbows down. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, elbows down. Just once more. All right, and from here, we're making our way back to tabletop. And as you return, we're going to step back with the right foot, rocking to the instep, and reaching to the sky with the right hand. From here, take your right hand back, down, bringing that in line with your ear. This might be enough for you. Continue to breathe here. Otherwise, perhaps lifting your right leg, flexing the toes in towards the shin bone, finding a line of energy along the right side. Most important, breathing. And whether your leg is lifted or down, we're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow and then stretch it out. And again, you might sit your foot down and your hand down. It might be lifted. Again, elbow to knee. Inhale, reach. One more time, elbow to knee. And inhale, reach. Right palm comes back and right knee returns as well. All right, let's try the other side. Stepping back with your left foot, rocking to the instep. Left hand reaches to the sky. Left hand back down and then in line with your ear. And from here, deciding, maybe lifting the left leg. Breathing deeply. And deciding how you want to displace your effort. Left elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it out. Left elbow to knee. Inhale, reach it out. One more time, elbow to knee. And reach it out. Left hand returns. And left knee return. All right, from here, let's bring our bolster to the center of the mat. And we'll climb on top of that with both of our knees. And once you arrive, we're going to step forward with the right foot. And we're going to move forward and back. As you place your left hand, it might be your palm, it might be a fist. Check in, make sure that your knee is tracking in line with your foot. Take your time to fully extend and then lunge, taking the knee beyond the ankle. And the next time that the knee and ankle are in line with each other, push the right hand into the leg, rise up, reaching with your left hand. If you're comfortable here, reaching with both hands. And whether it's both hands reaching or just one, bringing the elbows or elbow down, carefully reaching forward. Exhale, one or both down, reaching forward. And one or both down, reaching back up. This time, if your right hand is here on the knee, you might just decide to twist towards the right side, keeping an upright spine. Some of you might take your left elbow to the outside, stacking fists, or maybe even palms. Again, choosing the effort that's appropriate for your practice today. Mindfully breathing. And please take your gaze towards the earth, unwind your spine. Inhale, reaching up. Placing your hands on the inside. From here, walk the palms a placement forward and lunge a little deeper. We're just going to take 5 breaths here. If you like, you might bend your left knee and work on pointing and flexing in the left foot. Otherwise, just notice the stretch of your left quad as you lunge forward. Backing off where needed. Beautiful. Placing the left foot down, if you elevated it, walk those hands back in. And from here, we'll just take our right knee back and press back for child's pose, just sinking towards your bolster, resting towards the forearms, letting the head hang heavy, exhaling through the mouth. And taking your time, coming back to a tabletop position and working on a few more of your cat-cow. Notice the opportunity to focus in the upper spine, your thoracic, moving right behind the lungs, right behind the heart. And carefully from neutral spine, step forward with your left foot, placing the left hand on the knee. And we'll start with some forward and back movements. Again, check in to make sure the knee is moving in line with all of the toes. Straight forward. Using the hand to help support and guide that. And guiding the knee back in line with your ankle, pressing the left hand, reaching up to the sky with the right arm. Maybe this is enough. Maybe reaching both hands. Guiding one or both elbows down. Inhale, reaching forward and up. One or both elbows down. Reaching forward and up. One or both elbows down. Reaching forward and up. Perhaps just twisting the torso, gazing to the left side. Otherwise, deepening the stretch by placing your elbow or tricep on the outside of your left knee. Fist or palms together. We'll take 5 full breaths. Inviting one more breath. Taking your gaze towards the earth, push into the left foot, returning to reaching. And palms to the inside. Walking the hands further forward, lunging towards the left foot. And again, you might decide to work on that pointing and flexing, bending of the right knee. Otherwise, just notice the stretch through the front of the right leg. Fabulous. Resting the foot and backing off if you elevated that. Let's bring our left knee back. And from here, we're just going to take the knees fully behind your prop. And as you move forward, we're going to take the abdomen to your prop. Make sure the front of your hips are fully supported, resting on the forearms, and then swaying from side to side. Moving the lumbar. Notice the sacral bones. Back in the very center of your pelvis. Encouraging the rib cage, floating ribs to move further forward, lengthening the spine as you sway. Pushing the forearms into the earth. Make sure you're breathing. And then finding center with that. And we're going to rest the palms, stacking the wrists, and then resting the forehead at the wrist. From here, tucking your right toes and breathing. And then releasing the right knee and toes, tucking the left toes, reaching back with the left heel, breathing. And releasing your left leg. We're going to look off to the right side. And then looking off to the left side. One more time to the right side. And carefully to the left side. And then resting the forehead again, tucking both of your feet, keeping your shins and knees lifted, breathing. If comfortable, lift your left leg and take 3 more breaths. And lowering the left leg, if you lifted it, lift your right leg, taking 3 breaths. Again, check in. It's just an option. And if you're lifting the right leg, please release it. And then release all of your toes and release the arms, resting your forehead towards the earth. Just allowing yourself to sink fully into the belly. And breathing into the lower abdomen, expanding the diaphragm. Massaging all the organs within. Let's try taking 5 full breaths here. Again, noticing the light pressure as you sink heavy into your prop. And as generous as you can be, expanding the diaphragm. And relaxing the breath. Let's come back to the palms and then push yourself up and stretch yourself back, resting your forearms on your prop, letting your head hang heavy here. And if you can, send your prop a little further forward and let your skull hang. And then rising back up, we'll place our palms on the prop and we're going to do cat-cows from here. Working into the low back. Working to draw the heart and sternum and collarbone forward. Almost shrugging the shoulders and squeezing the scapula together. All right. And from here, we're going to rest on our left side and taking the left side of the body over the side of your prop. And from here, you can place your palm just at the left side of the temple. Stacking the knees and stacking the ankles. You can use your right palm to support. And we're just going to lift the right knee. And then we're going to close the right knee. And moving at your own pace. Try and keep your feet connected. Opening as wide as you can. And then closing. And try 2 more. And once the knee comes back, we're going to pull the knee in towards the belly, holding behind the knee. This might be where you stay. Some of you might reach the right leg to the sky, or taking hold, peace sign finger grip to the right big toe. Choosing your variation, we'll take 5 breaths here. And this is a really nice variation of Anantasana. Notice the compression on the left side of the body, breathing into the kidneys, stimulating the heart muscle, stimulating your left lung. Two more breaths, breathing in, exhaling. Again, breathing in. And exhale. Whatever you're doing there, just release. And we'll roll back to our side, lifting up. And from here, we're just going to take it to the other side. So you can just turn your body around and lean over. I'm going to completely change the position so I can face you while we do this. And we're starting with leaning over the side of our bolster or prop, supporting with the right palm at the temple. Stacking feet and knees and working on that opening and closing. And try and open as much as you can while you do it. Beautiful. Wherever you are, try 2 more. And as you return, make sure the side body is supported. Bringing the left knee towards your belly, holding or securing underneath the knee. Maybe reaching, perhaps peace sign finger grab. Breathing into the right side body, right lung. Breathing into the low back and kidneys. Stretching your breath. Beautiful. 1 more breath, breathing in and exhaling, releasing. And once you release, take your time, rolling and supporting. We're going to come back to laying flat, but on the left side of the body. And as you come down, we're using our forearm again. to support the temple and stacking the feet and stacking the legs. As you're here, you can use your right palm to support you as well. And then lifting your right leg. As you're lifting your right leg, I want you to focus on your right nostril. Close your eyes. And if at any time this is too much for you, you can just set your right foot back down. Close your eyes and breathe solely in through the right nostril, stimulating the left hemisphere of the brain. Your best effort. And carefully bringing the eyes back and releasing the right leg if it's still elevated. From here, we're just going to roll to the belly and stretch everything out. And taking your time to roll over to the right side. And again, we're going to support the temple, stacking feet, and lift our left leg this time. Closing the eyes, breathing solely in through the left nostril, stimulating right hemisphere of the brain. And as before, if you need to release your left leg down, that's okay. Focus on the left nostril. Returning with your eyes, releasing the left leg if it's still lifted. Roll to the belly. Rest your forehead. Soften everything. And then carefully returning, we'll lift ourselves up and make our way to our back. And as you make your way to your back, we're just leaving all the props off to the side, but keeping the block nearby. Let's take a nice full body stretch. And notice your spine. Notice your rib cage. Notice your low back. How much space is there? Breathing deeply, expanding from the inside out. And releasing the arms, stepping your feet to the earth. As you step your feet to the earth, we're going to root down into the low back. And once you're pressing fully into the low back, make sure your feet are parallel to each other. We're going to lift from the tailbone, elevating mid-back, maybe walking the shoulder blades in slightly more, elevating the chin, keeping your gaze up and only up. Pushing through all four corners of your feet, separate your knees and your shins. Breathing in and out. In breath and out. In breath and out. Two more. In, out. Breathing in. Exhale and lower low back to the earth. Reaching the arms, bringing curvature to the spine. Keep the arms reaching. Exhale, compress all the way down. Again, inhale, bringing curvature to the spine. Exhale, pressing all the way down. And from here, we'll locate our block. We're just going to place that under the base of the skull, making sure it's just at the very edge, the occipital portion, and releasing arms to the sides, letting the knees drop inward towards each other, carefully rocking skull from left to right. As heavy as you can be. Exhaling through the mouth. And anywhere along the way, if you feel a little sensitivity or tension, try to just pause there and sink into the block. Allowing the eyes and the eyebrows to lighten. Holding kindness behind your eyes. Relaxing the mouth, jaw, and the center of the throat. Holding a gentleness there. The lungs and heart are heavy. Rib cage sinking towards the earth. And just a little bit longer, continuing to explore either slow movements or pausing and sinking into a space. And starting to return to center with your skull. We'll take our block out. And you can set that off to the side. We're going to pull the right knee in, supporting at the ankle if possible. Some rotations in the right ankle, moving toes. And then using the hands to support behind the knee and using the fingers to lightly massage the back of the knee. And using the fingers to move from the ankle to the back of the knee. All of the fingers, front of shin, sides and back of calf. And then releasing the right leg out. And then reaching with both arms, stretching the spine. And stepping your right foot back, pulling the left knee in, supporting at the ankle if possible. Working on pointing and flexing, some rotations of the left ankle, spreading the toes. And then extending your left leg, using the fingers to massage behind the left knee. And using your fingers to move from the ankle to the back of the knee. Stimulating blood flow. All right. And left leg releases, arms reach for full stretch of the spine. Chin gently elevated. And from here, we're going to walk the left ankle over towards the right side of the mat, and then step your right foot to the outside of the left leg. Just breathing there. You might release the right arm back and continue to reach with the left arm, perhaps making a gentle fist, letting the knuckles or the palm face the midline of the body. Reaching from the interior of the left hip. Generous breaths, tugging on the left lung. And then releasing the left arm, stepping the right foot back and left leg back. We'll take a full body stretch. And then carefully stepping the left foot in, walking the right leg towards your left side, and then taking the left foot to the outside of the right leg. Releasing the left arm, continuing to reach with the right side body and right arm. Emphasizing that full expansion of the right lung. Expanding all the muscles that interlace and align in the inside of the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. And then releasing right arm, left leg, and right leg back to center. We'll take another full body stretch. And this time hugging the knees in with the knees wide, rooted in the low back. Rocking from side to side, massaging across the sacrum. And from here, we'll take Ananda Balasana, our blissful pose or happy baby pose. Keeping the knees bent, supporting behind your knees as your feet reach towards the sky. Or peace sign fingers to your big toes, holding the outside or maybe even the inside of the feet. Choose your variation. Rooted along the spine. Tailbone reaching towards the earth. Keeping that bend in the knees and external rotation from the hip joint as well as the ankles. And using your breath. And as you're supporting and holding here, invite a softening to the elbows and shoulders. Sinking heavy into the body, letting gravity weigh on you. Reaching towards effortlessness. Softening the center of the belly. Relaxing all the muscles that surround the lungs and the heart. The very tip of the tongue gently rested behind your teeth. Releasing the jaw and the muscles that surround the cheekbones. Eyes sinking heavily into the eye sockets. And the face is just expressionless. Notice the breath moving in through the nostrils. Notice the sound of your breath. And carefully inviting the feet back to the earth. Taking a moment to rock the knees from side to side. Moving towards the outer edges of your glutes. Working on that internal and external rotation from the hip joint. And choosing a side of the body to roll to. And as we make our way back to center, we're just going to place whatever prop you have underneath your knees. And as you're returning to your back for our final rest, you might just rest your legs. You might decide to take butterfly pose, either fully over the bolster or on it. And you might even use your block again to support your skull. Choosing the variation that supports you the most, that allows you to fully relax and release. And inviting a softening to the whole body. Surrendering to the breath. Unclenching. And letting go of what's unneeded. Knowing a sense of divine essence, breathing your being as it breathes all beings and all things. Knowing the great interconnectedness of all of life. And holding in the forefront of your mind peace and peacefulness. Holding in the heart center loving kindness. Remaining supported and still for a few more breaths. You are more than welcome to remain. Otherwise, carefully sipping in your breath. If you have a block underneath your skull, begin to shift your head on the block. And eventually, at some point, setting the block off to the side. If you have chosen butterfly pose, please separate your toes and bring your knees back, extending the legs. Reaching with the arms and beginning to move more generously, fingers, toes, ankles. Stretching the spine and the breath. And hugging the knees in when you're ready. And carefully rolling to whichever side supports your practice today. Coming back to some kind of seat. And as you arrive, allowing the hands to move before the heart, bowing to that internal space, knowing a thankfulness to self. And again, acknowledging the interconnectedness of all of life. I thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.